All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome everyone to the Committee of the Whole meeting here at 6:30. I will invite Penny Weller from the Kent District Library Board to come up and kick us off. So thank you again for dinner tonight. Thank you. So
you are so welcome.
Welcome back. It has been a while since we've had cupcakes in the Commission chamber.
I made enough sleep, but eat your
Thank you.
Bless your
Yes,
heart.
bless your. Yes, awesome. Cool. And Penny, if you would on that one, that button right in front of you, that light will turn red if you press it. Right in the middle. Perfect. There we go.
Okay.
All right, the floor is yours.
Thank you. And I'm just going to be real brief because we've got the Gabby people behind me here. But I want to say thank you. Thank you for allowing me to represent the city of Walker on the KDL board. It really is an honor to do that, and I so appreciate it. I also want to say thank you to all of you for working so hard at getting an expansion for our Walker Library. As you all know, it's tight over there, and I know that you're working really hard to change that, and I so appreciate it. So with that, I'll turn it over to JC. Thank you.
Thanks, Penny.
Hi. For those of you who do not know me, my name is JC Cooper. I am the Director of Projects and Planning at Kent District Library. I just wanted to start by echoing Penny's gratitude for your support of the library in the area. And today I wanted to focus kind of on what's been happening over this last year. We like to come and give a presentation to you to just kind of keep you apprised of kind of the system-wide things going on. And yeah, today I wanted to talk about our strategic plan. So Kent District Library's mission is to further all people, and we could not do that without the support of our municipalities. And to further that this year, we're focusing on our 3 pillars, which are equity, diversity, and inclusion, engagement and service, and sustainability. So I'll just kind of briefly talk about what we're doing in those areas this year. For our first area, equity, diversity, and inclusion. We are continuing on system-wide training, so all of our staff are all undergoing training throughout the course of the year. And then we are also working to implement a travel-themed program to foster appreciation for different kind of cultural experiences we have all throughout Kent County. So that will be incorporated into our Summer Wonder program this year. Our next one is engagement and service. And so over the course of the pandemic, service has really sort of evolved. Service has kind of looked self-protective, and we really wanted to document what good service looks like and how we can make sure we're still giving everybody who walks through our door a really great experience, one that they share with their friends, their family, their neighbors. So we're reevaluating how that kind of changed over the course of COVID and how we can continue to serve people the very best we can. And then we are also working to develop a new onboarding process this fall. So when you sign up for a library card, we really want people to have a good understanding of the value that holds. How many times have you heard about a service and you're like, man, I didn't know the library did that? Or how many times have you shared that with somebody and they said, wow, I didn't know I could get that with my library card? So we are strategizing ways to make sure that when you sign up for a library card, you are getting information that is pertinent to your interests and the ways in which you will use your card. And then lastly, we have an early literacy initiative that we are partnering with local hospitals for to try to get materials about the library, the services we offer for parents and babies alike, and a board book so that way we can start people with engaging with the library from a very, very young age. And then our third pillar, sustainability. We are looking to develop a customer relationship management system to help have more impactful relationships with our municipalities, with our partner organizations, and with people in the community. And then we are looking to establish a library ambassador program to help strengthen advocacy as we approach our millage and as we see a lot more people coming to us and saying they want to get more involved with the library. How can how can we harness that energy and get people really excited to volunteer and advocate for something for the library and the community. And then lastly, refining our book purchasing philosophy to mitigate waste and get more return on investment for our collection. So making sure we're purchasing books that don't just sit on the shelf after they're purchased. We want to reduce the number of dead upon arrival books. So making sure we're really using taxpayer money with the most benefit for our collection. So with that, I just wanted to kind of give you an update on where we're at this year, and I will turn things over to Liz so she can speak more specifically about the Walker Branch itself. Thank you again for your time today.
Thank you.
Hello, and thank you so much for inviting us to be here on this beautiful day. We'll try to keep it brief so you guys can hopefully get out of here in time to enjoy the weather. It was the first time this year I got to walk around in my shirt sleeves outside, which was amazing. But Craig and I wanted to just take the time today to update you on Walker specific stuff. So thank you to both Penny and JC for giving us that wider view. But today we are going to focus in. Craig is going to start off with sharing library services that have been really popular this year. And I'm going to wrap up by sharing some programming updates and a patron story. So, to Craig.
Thank you. So good evening. One of the things I'm proud that KDL does is we're always thinking of the patron and how we can better their lives and offer them some new services. So I want to share some of the new services that we've rolled out recently. And one of them we launched in February. We partnered with a company called Canopy to offer a new streaming movie service for KDL card holders. And it offers them access to high quality films and educational documentaries. So there's a lot of indie films and older DVD films that you might not be able to find in the library. You could stream on Canopy. And during the first month of access to Canopy, we had about 3,000 patrons create accounts to access the service, and they streamed more than 5,000 titles in that first month. Another service that I'm really excited that we've launched recently is the Perk Pass. So Kent District Library has partnered with Area Attractions to give patrons access to complimentary guest passes to museums in the area. So we partnered with the Grand Rapids Public Museum, the Children's Museum, the Art Museum, and Frederick Meyer Garden to make these passes available. And as of last week, they've actually added the Circle Theater as a new partner. So now you can go, and I believe, is it the Opera? Is the Opera one? I think the Opera is also a partner on there. So it's exciting that we keep adding new partners to this and make these services available to our card holders. And then the tried and true one, with it being springtime, we've got the KDL Seed Library over there. So this is the library where people can come in and get free fruit and vegetable and flower seeds and plant them in their garden, and then harvest the seeds and return the seeds and keep the library going that way. And so far this spring, we've distributed more than 6,000 packets of seeds. So the visitor count over there in the last 3 weeks has also continued to increase, which is awesome. So pre-COVID, we used to average about 350 people coming into the building daily. And the last 3 weeks, we've been averaging 305 visitors per day. Last week was spring break, and we averaged 323 visitors that week per day. So with summer coming up soon and our return to summer programming and doing the big magician events and partnering with the city on the city carnival, I imagine we'll start to see that 350 visit average get back up there. So, but to go into more detail about the programs and outreach, I'll hand it over to Liz.
All right. So let's start out with our bread and butter, and that is story time. Story time for babies, for toddlers, for families is really at the heart of the library, because what it does is it helps kids be prepared to learn in school, learn how to read, and importantly, learn how to interact with other children. So since resuming programming in late February, our story times have just been busting out the door. So literally, there will be like parents and kids watching from outside because they can't quite fit into our programming room. So we're super excited about you guys' efforts to make space for our growing community. And the first story that I wanted to share with you is kind of special to my heart. It was shared with me by Kathy Potts, one of our most beloved librarians who has been with KDL for 32 years. And she shared this story that a patron shared with her. And I really want to share it in her own words because it's really amazing and heart-touching. So she said, "We have a loyal group of families who attend our Monday night story time with Miss Shelley. One of those families is a young mom and her son who has sensory issues. She shared with us one night how much being part of this group meant to her. Her son had never interacted much with other children and was quite hesitant at first to enter into the group, but through the weeks he began to play and participate in the sessions. His mom was so grateful to see him enjoy the time with the other children, and with Miss Shelley's enthusiasm and caring spirit, he became an eager member of the group. When our recent programming pause was over and story time resumed, this mom was the first one back on Monday night and made sure to tell us how much it meant to her that we were back. This program has become a lifeline of support for both her and her son." So that was just affirming to why we do what we do in libraries, right? We're here for our communities, and we really appreciate your support with that. Another thing that we did in 2021 that was super impactful was the Library Lunches to Go program. And with that program, we had grab-and-go lunches for kids 18 and under in partnership with Feeding America. And in just a few short months we had that program, we gave out close to 1,500 meals to kids that might have been hungry or suffering from food insecurity. And we actually were the branch that gave out the most in 1 week. Throughout all of KDL, we gave out in June over 200 meals in just 1 week. That program made a huge difference, and I'm so happy to report that we'll be doing it again this year. In addition to that, this summer, we're really excited about Summer Carnival. This will be the first year that I'll be able to participate because I joined just before the pandemic started. So we're already excited to start planning. The Easter egg hug got us even more excited. Julie took a video of just the kids swarming out to get those eggs. And it's like, one of the videos was like 11 o'clock starts, 11:03 empty field. The kids just really went for it. And it was just so exciting that we are working with you guys to give back to our communities. And we just love that you invite us to do that year after year. So thank you. And also thank you for your support, because we can't provide the level of programming that we provide to our community without you. And your dedication to helping us get the space that we need to continue to do that for our growing community can't be stressed enough. So thank you so much. Any questions for us?
Commissioners? Welcome right to left.
Oh, I got a quick question.
Yeah.
So when I was down in the park on Saturday morning, I noticed the little library in there. Is there a little library in all of our parks?
In all of them, I don't think so.
No, that's the only one in Walker that we have right now is that one. And that one needs some love if
It
you looked at
does,
it
yeah.
closely.
Yeah.
So it's on our,
It's on our list.
but
Yeah.
we do, staff does go and check on it regularly and refill it with discarded
Yeah, I mean, there
library books and
were plenty of
donations.
books in there, yeah, and a nice variety. I was really impressed with, the variety of books that they had and books that people might,
Yeah.
didn't seem to be just throwaway books.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Miss Shelley, the librarian that was talked about here, is also the librarian that really works to keep that library stocked for everybody. So she's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, another nice community outreach piece, so thank you so much.
Commissioners, any other questions?
Just one. Can you check out books electronically?
Absolutely.
Can you do it remotely, or do you need to come into the library?
You can do it remotely and within the library, both, whatever somebody needs.
You just need a library card, and then you can log in and do that? Is that
Uh-huh.
okay? Great, thanks. Appreciate it.
Hold on, I feel a cough. Knew that was coming. It was interesting because I want to say it was during spring break last night, picking up a book. I had stopped in there and I literally was noticing kids standing on the outside of the window of the door. And it wasn't that long ago, there was a little mini museum in there, so I'm so glad that it's being used for, it's actually being used. But I think on behalf of the commission, I think we realize we have no longer a situation but a problem we're going to find a solution for here in short order. So that being said, what from a programming perspective, from an opportunity perspective, and that may be specific to Walker, it might be district-wide, but we're thinking up here from a Walker perspective, if there were things that you needed outside of an expansion to the building, what are other things that you wish you could have that you feel like you could make an impact in the community further?
Oh, wow, that's a big question. Craig's got something.
I got
See, that's what I'm
something.
killing
I've got
time
it.
here, and we've got, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I've got an idea that I actually saw at PLA, and it was a food fridge. So I heard this library in Charleston, South Carolina, they provide a food fridge to their community where people can stop in and get fresh produce. And it's just come in, no questions asked. They provide like almost a menu of what vegetables and produce is in there, and the nutritional facts and like some recipes of what you could use that produce for. So like that really stuck out to me when I saw that one, and I thought that would be a great, because we're already doing the summer lunches, I thought this would be the next evolution in the summer lunches, would be the food fridge. So that's one thing that I've had grinding in my gears the last couple of weeks.
Mayor, if I can.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
On that thought, I would bet that frankly, if we simply put in the facilities to have something like that, you could probably develop a partnership with somebody. Feeding America of West Michigan does a lot of this, and where the food is actually stocked for us if we just have the capacity to store it and distribute it. So
I think
something
you're
to consider if
probably
we're
right.
serious about it.
Yeah, one of the things that we are going to be starting doing soon is a hygiene locker project where we will have things like deodorant and sanitary pads and diapers and things for people that aren't able to get it otherwise. So that's partially stocked by donations and partially by purchasing the items. But it's a similar idea that libraries are a place where everybody goes and they can feel comfortable getting what they need from us without feeling that they're judged.
Yeah, on that piece, I know so Catholic Charities, they have baby pantry that we have there, that we kind of help to distribute those goods to folks in the community in need. With that one, it definitely comes to like a warehouse space thing, right? Like that's one where you just need the capacity of the room to put that kind of stuff together and make it user-friendly and accessible, and not something where it's like, I think a lot of times folks want to kind of have a space specifically for that, so they're not having to be interacting with everybody as they go through to grab whatever they need.
Yeah.
But that's another piece that also a very good community asset.
Yeah, whatever we can do to help.
I've also seen it before where they've had like hats and gloves,
Oh, yeah.
and, people can donate, or sometimes there's ladies within the community or men within the community that like to knit. And it's kind of one of those smaller items where you don't have to have a really big platform to store it. And it's something that if someone comes in and they're in need, it's not like you're having a whole bunch of coats where you have to have a lot of bulky items, but they're small, and it's really beneficial for parents who might not be able to afford them or maybe need them at that time simply, and it's just a nice idea. I also saw something tonight. I only caught the last part of it on the news. It was TikToks that a librarian, no, not librarian, I think Schuler Books or a book, was it Schuler? Okay, Schuler Books were doing TikToks where they were getting just a lot of readers excited. And that might be something fun for you guys within your group to do a weekly TikTok to maybe spotlight a book or a new book or an old book, go in the archives and find a really good one and,
Do you
make
guys
it
use
fun.
Instagram ever? Because we have an
perfect.
Instagram account and we do fun stuff like that. I think
Yeah.
we're going live on Instagram for our branch. We take turns. For
Oh,
KBL.
that's cool. Good.
So TikTok is another area that we should
Yeah.
explore too. You're
Well,
right.
Yeah, check out the news. It was on tonight, and it might be kind of fun. sometimes that just kind of stimulates you to try different things, so.
Yeah, we're always up for trying new things at KDL. It's our
Love
thing.
that.
Awesome. Commissioners, anything else?
Just going back to this idea of the hygiene locker and the food fridge, I know Craig, I've mentioned this to you a couple of times, the idea of potentially some kind of lending library for tools or something along those lines. And I know there's a lot of logistics, you know, to getting those back and things like that, but still would love to explore that a little bit more. And beyond tools too, I mean, there's the organization up north that has, you know, like bread makers. So somebody could come in and get a bread maker and break, you know, do a day instead of having to buy your own, you know, and things like that. So
Boy, do I have good news for you.
you do.
We've already started dipping our toe into lending tools. What is that thing that we got, Craig, that like you can see inside the wall?
Yeah, so we got a boroscope recently added to the Beyond Books collection, and we have a thermal like gun.
Stud find.
There's
You're
a
supposed to see
there's
the
a stud
studs.
finder as
Yeah.
well, and there's a green level laser level, so you can make sure whatever you're hanging is level. And so
Yeah.
yeah, some of the Beyond Books items are starting to go that tool route, especially
Uh-huh.
like the more expensive tools like the boroscope. You know, that's pretty expensive piece of equipment, but you can borrow it. And
Yeah.
I'm waiting in line for the thermal. I want to be able to see where the heat's escaping from my house, you know. So yeah, we're starting to get into that.
I'm
Oh,
glad you're
great.
here, Craig. You can tell them what it's actually called.
That's great. I'll have to follow up with you then and see like
Yeah.
how we can build that out a little bit more.
Sounds good.
Great, thanks.
Great idea.
All right, commissioners, any other questions, comments? Thank you again very, very much. Penny, as always, you're awesome. What should we do with the containers? I'll get them back over to the library for you.
They're disposable, so
Oh,
put 'em in the
awesome.
recycle bin.
Oh, bless your heart. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you all.
Thank you.
All right, commissioners, I think we've got some time. I'm going to start to the left. City Manager Schmalzell.
Before we do that, do you want to have Frank go over the item
Sure.
from the landscaping? And we'll get that discussion and presentation.
Sure. Well, good evening, everyone. This is an annual contract process that we put a bid out in the public hearing and publication process to get contractors, hopefully, to bid on providing us for services to remove trash, rubbish, cut grass, many of the complaints that we get that are property maintenance related. So what you have in front of you with your packet for tonight is the whole review of the process of bids for our property maintenance contract. And what's not unusual is to only get one bid with a project like this. There aren't a lot of firms out there who are interested in doing this kind of work. It tends to be a little bit sporadic. And then all of a sudden it's super busy. Things like removing snow, cutting grass, there's a big peak and then it drops off. However, this has been a very effective program for us over the years. And one of the things that you folks have identified as a priority is quality of life issues in the city. And years ago, there was an emphasis put on, hey, we really need to do a good job with our property maintenance complaints. And I think over the years, we've developed a pretty good program here. Pretty responsive program, and a lot of that over the last couple of years has to do with this Vigh landscape group. And they came in and replaced the previous bidder, and that firm no longer was interested, and they were selected in 2021. And they also provide us with services in our parks, doing some mowing for us. It's a local business, and they do a really good job, which is the most important part. And their costs are reasonable. You've seen, what I emailed out today shows kind of what I consider a reasonable incremental increase across the board, particularly just because of inflationary pressures and gasoline and what have you. So we're back to making the recommendation to go with Vigh again per their bid, and you've been provided all that information. And if this is approved tonight, then we will continue to work with those folks. And as the complaints come in, Megan Gorby in our community development group, she is the point person to get this entire process taken care of. And I think it's running fairly well. And I hope that we're as responsive as we certainly can be Because Vigh does have a good turnaround time as well, which is really the last leg of that stool. You know, it's great if they're a great service, but if it takes them 2 weeks to get something, then it's a problem. So they do have a window built into their contract, and they follow that window too. So I am more than willing to try to answer any questions you might have. And other than that, on your agenda, I think it's 8A. We'd be looking for formal approval for a new contract for Vigh to be our property maintenance landscape firm.
Mayor, if I- sorry.
Frank,
Yes.
it says in the services contract that they do sidewalk snow removal. Do we do sidewalk snow removal?
Yes, we do.
Where do we do that?
You mean if there's a problem with?
Yeah, I mean, just, we don't do the whole city, obviously.
No,
So
no, no, no.
What do we do?
Well, if you have by ordinance a requirement that if you have a sidewalk in front of your place of business or your residence, that you're obligated to clear that sidewalk. Some people do, some people do not. We do have a waiver program that goes through your CDD as well. And waivers are granted per your ordinance based on, is it a senior citizen? Does someone have some kind of medical disability? Is there another, something that prevents them from reasonably being able to clear their snow? Those aren't the ones that are the subject of snow clearing per Vigh landscaping. We'll often get complaints about, this route along a road, people aren't clearing, it's 4 or 5 lots that are just refusing to clear their snow. So then Megan sends out the notices, and if the property owner still does not comply, then Vigh goes out and clears the snow. Alpine Avenue south of 3 Mile is a good example. That's an area that over the years we've just had a problem getting the snow consistently removed from the sidewalks. And to a certain extent I can understand, because many of those businesses and even some of the homes on Alpine are close to the road. The plows come through, they kick the snow back up, then it turns into 12 inches of ice. It's not an easy thing to remove. So that's a long answer to you, that we're all required to remove the snow in front of our frontage. Corner lots, you've got to do both sides. Unless you're provided a waiver, and the ordinance lays out the waiver terms. For those of you who don't meet the waiver terms and just refuse to remove your snow, on a complaint basis, we do go out, provide notice that you do need to clear it. You're given X amount of time. If you don't do it, then Vigh Landscaping goes out. And the bill comes into the city. Actually, that's handed off to the county. And then the county puts the cost as a tax lien on the property. So the city is really held harmless, which is kind of nice, because we do rack up a significant amount of costs over the year to cut grass, clear weeds, take away junk, clear snow. So
Okay.
that's how the money is recouped.
Very helpful, thank you, very interesting. Are they gonna do the roundabout too?
No, that is, hopefully we're not letting that get, well, that's a whole other
Because we were gonna
topic.
have somebody do that. Didn't we talk about having somebody do
Yeah,
that?
that is actually, we're going to extend our DDA contract for streetscaping. So the same firm that does the DDA streetscaping is gonna take over the roundabout. So hopefully it'll look consistently better. We'll deal with that yellow nutsedge, which is what goes crazy in there every year. So I'm hopeful that the roundabout island will look much better this year.
Thanks.
And they did treat that, they treated the roundabout in the fall and did some cleanup there. So hopefully now in the spring, things coming in will be.
The thing is, we get quite a few tire tracks through that island as well. So it's a constant process, and we figured that was going to happen. Actually, the island does catch quite a few cars that otherwise, if you remember prior to, with the signals there, actually caused some nasty crashes. So the island does serve a good purpose. But we'll work around the tire tracks and the knockdown signs, and I forget the name of the firm in Standale. Everett's, good firm, landscape people, and like Darrell said, they did the clearance last fall. They're going to pre-treat this year for the yellow nutsedge, and then replant and hopefully make that island look a lot better.
Super quick. No, the contract looks good to me. The increase in labor per hour makes sense with the current conditions in the market and things like that. Just out of curiosity, did this used to be a 3-year contract at one point? Maybe a number of years back?
It may have been 2 years.
Okay.
I do believe, I think you're right, it was a 2-year contract.
Yeah, I thought I remembered talking about like moving it to a 1-year contract if we were having some issues of some kind or something like that.
And that's where we all may remember that one of the firms that we had on here, all of a sudden their charges started to get a little bit excessive.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about that in this room and said, you know, we're getting unreasonable with these charges.
Yeah. I think there was responsiveness concerns too at the time, right?
There were a couple of concerns, and then, you know, you have to be reasonable. There has to be a
Yeah.
proportionate fee to the service,
Right.
and we were getting out of that.
Yeah.
So for things like this, I think it is good you look at them on an annual basis, just because you never know if ownership's going to change or if a firm is just going to change its way of doing
And
things.
it allows us the ability to maintain the accountability to whoever we're contracting with, so. All right, that's the only thing. Thank you.
Commissioners, anything else on this topic? All right, let's call our regular city commission meeting to order. It is 7:01. Commissioner Chase, you have the invocation.
Shall we pray? Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for the sunny weather that we have had the last couple of days after many days of not seeing the sun. Please continue to watch over our city staff, especially those who are our first responders, police, fire, and our military. Watch over us tonight and the decisions that we make, that they may honor you. As we approach this weekend, may we remember the true meaning of Easter and the gift you gave us through Christ's resurrection. In your name, amen.
Amen. Yes, everyone please stand and join for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If I could please ask our deputy clerk to call the roll.
Mayor Carey,
Present.
Commissioner Gilbert,
Present.
Commissioner Glanville, Commissioner Groders,
Present?
Commissioner Heisinger Chase,
Present.
Commissioner DeShane,
Present?
Commissioner Burke.
Present. Thank you. Next on the list is approval of the March 28, 2022 City Commission meeting minutes. Is there any discussion on those minutes? If there's none, I'll entertain a motion for approval and support, please.
I'll make that motion.
I'll support.
Commissioner DeShane and Chase, thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, we're good there. Next is any public comment on agenda items? On agenda items? Okay.
Question actually for Frank. Talking about the snow plowing and what have you, or sidewalks. Seems like an odd time of year to talk about it, that winter's over, but I've always wondered with where my shop's at. You know, I know Dar Development's the owner there.
Yeah.
And they always get notices to keep the sidewalk clear out front. But Dar Development's property doesn't go out to the sidewalk. That front yard is actually a clear vision corner, which I believe is owned by the state.
Yeah.
So shouldn't the city really be the one taking care of that, as opposed to Dar getting, whether it gets fined or cost or whatever?
Well, I think the challenge there is it's right of way, and most of our sidewalks are in the right of way, whether it's MDOT right of way or City of Walker right of way. Very few sidewalks are actually on private property. So I think that's the way we've looked at that. Like any corner lot, whether it's a clear vision line or whether the right of way goes all the way out at a 90-degree angle, it's still your frontage. So
It just never quite made sense to me, because his frontage of the property ends just a few feet in front of the building.
it does.
You know, and that huge yard is open property that owned by the state. So I don't know if everybody knows that. That's a state right of way. When the expressway went in, they kept that for clear vision.
And I would look at that the same way we look at the lawn. You know, the lawn that's there is maintained.
And his company takes care of that. Yeah.
So it's kind of the same way we probably do if you live in a subdivision. You know, you probably take care of the sidewalk, snow, and then you also cut the grass in the right of way. So that's kind of the way we look at it, whether it's a flat iron clear vision corner or whether it's a true 90-degree angle.
Sure.
It's still your de facto frontage.
Okay, I just always kind of wondered about that, and being that you were just talking about it, it made me think of that, so. All right, good enough, thanks.
Thank you.
All right, so no other public comment on agenda items. Next is from the city manager. We just went through in our committee the whole meeting, the Vigh landscaping for property maintenance contract, understanding the slight bumps that they had, I think across the board were reasonable, particularly in the labor one, I think was a 12% bump, and just, I think it's a very fair ask. Hard time with them getting labor, but they have been incredibly responsive for our abatement needs, amongst other items. So if there's no further discussion on said items, I'll entertain a motion for approval and support of the 1-year renewal for the property maintenance contract with Vigh Landscaping.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Commissioner Groders, Commissioner Burke. Any other discussion on the Vigh Landscaping contract? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? Thank you. Next on the list is the consent agenda expenditures in the amount of $269,263.01. Is there any discussion on the expenditures?
I have a quick one. I saw $35 to Hope Network on a collection expense through a wage garnishment. I'm wondering, is that a Wheels to Work person, or is that something else?
That is,
Hope Network.
yeah.
And it was $35. It was identified as a wage garnishment for a collection expense.
Yeah, it was probably an employee, not our employee, but somebody that does work at Hope, that we garnish their wage here, probably for the income tax.
Got it. Okay. There you go.
Yeah, so that's how most of those are,
35
that you
sounds
see as
about
wage
right for that
garnishments.
amount.
Got it. Yep. Perfect. Thank you.
All right, any other questions on the bills? Seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for approval and support, please.
Motion to approve.
Support.
Commissioner Gilbert, Commissioner Glanville. Thank you, can't write quick enough. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed? All right, any other public comment for non-agenda items?
You're not the only one in the audience, I guess.
Okay.
Actually, a couple things about the Memorial Day parade. I just talked to, can't remember her name now, in the rec department about signing up to be in the parade this year. And she told me that's a $100 fee. I don't ever remember, because I ran for mayor back in 2017, having to pay $100. Has that changed since then, or they just missed me back then? Anyone know how that is for me to be in the parade and a $100 fee?
I don't recall, Al, I'd have to double to see what the fees are, but I think we typically have charged people running for office for a fee for entering the parade.
Yeah, like I said, I don't remember back in 2017 having that, but I thought maybe something's changed with the commission since then, or
Yeah, I don't remember if we got those fees or not.
or are they gonna hit me up for double, maybe, no?
You might have got a free one in 17, but we'll definitely, we'll take a look and we'll give you a call and let you
Okay,
know
yeah.
when that went in and what have you, if that's okay with you folks.
Okay, and the other thing, talking about the parade, I guess, 2 years ago, it was changed to be here on Remembrance Road instead of Standale? And I've had different people ask me at work, is there any reason why that changed, or will it ever go back to Standale, or?
Al, this is public comment, not public discussion. If there's discussion you want to have, we can take place outside of the meeting.
Okay, I thought this is like a comment.
No, it's actually public comment.
Okay, all right, thank you.
All right. Next on the list is the meeting schedule. I don't at this point believe we'll have an April 18th meeting. We do not have anybody that has officially applied for the city clerk position at this point. So that's a quick update on that one. That would be the only contingency there. So I would just ask, as before, to please have everybody be flexible on that schedule piece if need be. So the next meeting at this point is April 25th at 6:30, Committee of the Whole meeting. And then we'll continue on. Commissioner Burke coming this way with Commissioner and Manager comments. Managers, anything else further?
Just one, I think I've been kind of updating you along the way. We've been continuing to have discussions with Granville about sharing IT service with them. As you know, we are doing it for the courts together right now, but they are interested now in pursuing an agreement with us to provide total IT services for their whole city. So I've been working with Jason and our staff on working out a proposal. Granville will be discussing it at their budget meeting, I think next week, to get kind of a okay to continue to proceed forward. So I'll keep you updated on that, but it's looking very positive, and I think it'll benefit both cities and be really a win-win-win for everybody. So keep you updated, because we will have to do a formal agreement. We probably will not start providing those services until at least July 1st, but they need to budget for it, and so do we. We probably need to hire an additional IT support staff also as part of the cost of that service. So just keep you in the loop on that.
Frank, nothing? All right. Commissioner Burke.
Fastest Easter egg hunt I've ever seen. If we could harness, package that energy in a positive way for good, I feel very comfortable Walker's in great shape moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
You stole my thunder there. No, I think that I really like the layout of this year's Easter egg hunt, and I'll tell you why, because I think it really engages our public to actually walk within the parks and see what they what's available to them should they want to use it. But I will say it was very cold. I'm finally warming up. I can't believe the difference in weather from Saturday to today. But yeah, 10,000 eggs gone. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I
Commissioner
just echo with what Commissioner Burke and Commissioner DeShane said about the Easter egg hunt. It's a great turnout.
Thank you. Commissioner Roders?
I attended the dedication of the marker for the Sons of the Revolutionary War.
American Revolutionary War.
Yeah, American Revolutionary War, and they did an amazing job. I didn't know what to expect, but it was phenomenal. I was very, very impressed. I'm really glad that we were able to participate and offer that location.
And very, very cold.
And also very, very cold.
That was awesome. Good. Commissioner Glanville?
Yeah, the Easter egg hunt, not only was it great for the kids, I just want to say kudos to Michelle and her team at Parks and Rec. Just the amount of organization and man hours that went into all of the planning and hand filling 10,000 plastic eggs. Just how the whole county came together and the different agencies that were involved in that is really impressive, and she did a fantastic job. So look forward to what we can do with that next year as well. And then speaking of parks, I just also want to let you all know what a fantastic group of people we have on our Parks and Rec committee. The caliber, the dedication, just outstanding, and I'm really excited about what they're going to be able to do for us. We started this month on Sunday. We're doing an audit of all the parks, following DNR grant stuff and some other checklist items, just to check, what things look like and things like that. So we'll be reporting out on that on May 10th at our meeting. And I believe Frank will be there, possibly Tom, if he can make it. Love to have you there, Mayor. And anybody else, I guess. But just, I'm really impressed with how they've taken the lead on the project and the work they're doing. And we had a number of committee members were also at the egg hunt, helping out with that. So really well done.
Thank you. Commissioner Gilbert?
I'm good.
And our deputy clerk?
Just that candidate filing deadline is April 19th at 4 p.m.
Awesome. Well done this past week, and it just has been an incredibly smooth transition, so I can't say thank you enough from all of us. Packets were out on time, everything's right, and I know you're juggling a lot of things back there, so thank you from all of us. So I think that was it. Just on the Easter egg hunt is, as I was thinking with the library speaking here, when we think of the kind of the symbolism as a family-friendly community, a great place to live, work, and grow. And think of all the things that took place out there. Commissioner Glanville's comment, having the county out there, in force, it helps having the extra uniforms out there, but having the command center as well out there that has a lot of camera, video capabilities. I think that is the most lost kids, if you want to call, we've had collectively in the years that I've been around. It's been a lot for what it's worth. So that was really helpful because we had a uniform presence, kids understand, go to the uniforms from a safety perspective, and found their families or who they had come with. So that was really a neat thing. I caught up with Nicole for just a couple minutes this afternoon. They're having one of the new things that we do after an event is a kind of an after-action report from a military metaphor. And I always like to ask what worked, what didn't work, and what can we do better the next time. It's 3 simple things. So it gave a little bit of feedback. We blew through the eggs. But I mean, that's a nice problem to have. And we don't see boundaries here with city limits or even county limits. All are welcome in this community, so that was really a neat thing. Learn maybe to do poop patrol on Friday afternoon before we get out there, because there's some dog things out there that, just little things that we learn. But I love that venue piece, and yeah, it was maybe cold and a little bit wet, but man, that worked out well. So kudos to Michelle and that whole team for getting that together. So anything else for the good of the order here, commissioners? All right, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion for approval and support.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Commissioner Gilbert. Commissioner Glanville, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.